Welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Ebony Bowler, where we talk business, faith, and finances. Today we are talking faith. Topic is going to be faith to win in every area. And I have a subtopic for you, living like the winner you are. All right, so let's get started. Starting early. The earlier you start walking a life of faith, the quicker and faster you excel in life. The more you do it, the more it becomes second nature. The faster you will find your purpose in life, the more people you will be able to impact in this life. The more, how do I say this word? More impressionable you'll be on your children's lives, your spouse's life, your relatives' lives, all by walking in faith. But you got to do it early. So I'm going to give you 5 topics here, 5 areas that matter most to winning with faith. But before I do that, let's go to a little bit of background. If you look at all of my other videos, I always give you background of who I am or how I've succeeded. It's not from a place of arrogance. It's not from a place of narcissisticness. It's not from a place of thinking that I'm better or just want to talk about myself the whole time. I realize that on the internet, on social media, people don't always tell the truth, or their lives are hidden some of the parts that maybe should be seen if you're going to say that you have some answers in an area, right? And so that's why I always like to share with you a little about my background so that you know, I can't say qualifies me, but that gives me some validity in what I'm saying to you, that I'm not just, again, some bloke Joe off the street just talking. So, areas that I am already winning with my faith. Now, I'm not saying I've arrived by any means, but what I am saying is I'm seeing results and I'm getting feedback, not just based off of my own lenses and how well I think I'm doing, but I'm getting feedback from the people that matter the most, from what I'm reading when I read my word that tells me what results I should get if I'm properly applying the things that I hear, I see, I read, I feel, I touch, I know, or maybe even not feel or touch, because again, faith, you don't necessarily use those 5 senses, right? So back to me, winning in my health. That's an area where I totally feel like I've been able to win in my entire life. I've never been on any prescription medications for a long period of time. Yeah, I've had gotten sick and had to get an antibiotic, or had to take a steroid, for instance, with getting the trigger fingers on my 2 middle fingers and the tendonitis on my arm, which I don't have on my brace because it's actually breaking me out. But other than that, I can say to God be the glory. And really walking in faith. I haven't had any major health scares, and I've been pretty healthy. No medicines, no major surgeries. Just had my tonsils taken out when I was 7. No broken bones, thank the Lord. And I really believe that is contributed to a life of faith. I truly believe in what the word says, and I truly try to walk it out. Now, am I saying somebody's not in faith because they got injured or hurt or they're sick? No, not at all. But we're talking about winning in faith. And that's what I want to talk more about. Next, from my health, my marriage. I've been married 22 years to a really loyal, dedicated husband who's very active in every area of my life, including we both walk the walk of faith. So that's a beautiful thing when you can walk together. Also, in the area of finances, I've been there before, as Paul talked about, to be abased and to be abound. I know what it's like to eat a bologna sandwich. I know what it's like to sleep on the floor of somebody else's living room as an adult, not having my own. I know what it's like to having had filed bankruptcy. I know what it's like to having had to sell a house. I know what it's like to having to return a car back. These are things that I've gone through, and I'm not magnifying or glorifying the bad things that I've gone through. I could barely get that out. But what I'm saying is, it's built perseverance, it's built compassion, it's built a discipline for me that I don't struggle anymore in that area of finances. I had to go down and go through some things in order to be able to come back up. And not only that, have compassion, but be able to help other people and not be judgmental when somebody's in a state of need or when someone doesn't have. And even in this economy, I don't freak out because I know what to do. Again, because I walk by faith and I've been given the keys. Many of us have, but are we walking it out? That's the question. The next area is in business. I've been in business for years and years now. And prior to that, I've always been an entrepreneur and always wanted a business. And I actually have such a great knack for business. And I know I say knack a lot, but meaning a great insight that I help others in business. They ask me business questions. I've given people great sound business advice that have succeeded in their businesses or are currently developing in their businesses. Let's talk about family. I've had some successes there with my family. Is everything hunky-dory great? No, but I've seen quite a few family members come into salvation. I see them trying to walk out their salvation just like me. I'm no judge here. And I see that as a win. It takes faith to do all of that. And then lastly, I want to say my purpose. My purpose is another area that I've had a very fulfilling life in. When I started out in insurance, I would go into people's homes and I would sit down and talk to them across the table about their lives and about insurance. And one of the things that was really, really key to me is I found myself ministering to people who were hurting, people who were not educated in the area of finances. They were not educated in the area of insurance. They didn't know what insurances was the best insurances. They didn't know the different options and the different forfeiture options that you could choose. When I've talked to people about budgeting and finances, when I've talked to people about stocks and investing, all of those things are part of my purpose to empower people, to educate people, to encourage people, to exemplify the God-given talents that I have and showing them how to walk by faith. So I know I've said a lot, but let me get into those 5 areas that most needed if you want to win in this thing called faith, okay? And so, yeah, I had to grab my hair on that. This is some serious business. So number 1, your relationship with God. That is one of the number 1 areas that matters most if you're going to win in this thing called faith. If you don't have a relationship with God, meaning you talk to Him every single day, just like you would a friend, a spouse, or just as you would when you look yourself in the mirror to encourage yourself or to remind yourself of something, it's no different. You have to talk to God every day. You got to know what He's saying for you, for the day, for the week, for the hour, for the minute, for the second, especially if you're raising kids, especially if you are a leader, especially if you are helping others. You don't want to lead anyone astray. You don't want to regret how you raised a person. You don't want to feel like you failed. And one of those ways is by having that great relationship with God through faith. The next one, number 2, is going to be your relationship with your spouse, or if you're not married, with your children. That's another area that matters most to winning with faith. It takes faith to raise children. It takes faith to be married. It takes faith to hear from God what's best to feed your kids, what's the best way to teach them, what's the best way to motivate them, the best way to discipline them, the best for you and your spouse, whether it's intimacy and how often, whether it is traveling or purchasing large ticketed items, whether it's the type of business that you guys are going to have or jobs that you work. All of that takes faith. And if you want to win, that's another area that matters most. Number 3 is your health. I just talked about it. If you don't have your health, you have absolutely nothing. And it definitely matters most when it comes to winning with faith. You've got to trust God, even in your health, whether to take the vaccination or having not taken the vaccination, whether to get the booster or not in the situation we're in now, whether to get on medication for something, or go the natural route and take vitamins and supplements, whether to eat a certain way, whether to travel to a certain country or area that could be hazardous to your health, getting on a plane, getting on a boat. There are so many reasons that you've got to make sure you've got it together in the area of faith in order for your health to be on point. And that matters most to your faith. I see faith as like a person. You've got to take care of it. You've got to nurture it. You've got to talk to it. You've got to believe in it. You've got to trust it. You've got to exercise it. Faith is real. It's really real. Number 4, your financial freedom. That matters most to winning with faith. And you may say, well, Ebony, I don't understand that. What do you mean by that? Because if you don't have any evidence in the earth realm to show for that you've trusted and believed God for something, then how will others know? When people see you, they look at your life and they look at something that the Bible calls fruit. And that's the evidence that you are living a good life. Not saying it's a life without problems, not saying there's not going to be areas where you're going to have to be tried in your finances, not saying there's not going to be areas where you have to be disciplined. But however, having the freedom, I'm not just talking about having money in the bank or having some assets, but that freedom to where you can decide whether you want to do X, Y, or Z, and it's not based off of how much money you have, but being able to actually have the freedom to do it because you have the wherewithal to do it, whether it's to earn the money, whether it's the money's already saved, whether it's you have the freedom to work towards it because you have that flexibility, or whether it is just to actually follow those principles that he gives us for that financial freedom. But that matters most to the area of faith. Faith needs to see your finances rise. It needs to see you healthy. It needs to see your relationship with your spouse and children great, and your relationship with God on point. And the last one I'm going to leave you with is number 5, your ability to focus on your purpose. That's another area that matters most to winning with faith. So many people are distracted in this day, time, and hour. It is ridiculous. I don't look at social media nearly as much as I get notifications and pings and all kinds of stuff, because I try to make sure I take time to just think, to woosah, to get my mind together. Take time to hear faith talk to me. Take time to speak back to faith. Hear God saying to me what it is I need to do, how I need to walk out my purpose. Right now, I've been really, really busy with this YouTube channel. It's really been stressful, to be honest, because I am not the techie person. So I find myself editing videos, making videos where someone else could edit the video and it take them maybe an hour. It's taking me 4 and 5 and 6 hours because I'm learning as I go. The reason I'm doing this, well, of course, is twofold. I don't want to pay someone all this money every time they make a video for me, but then also I don't want to have to wait and not be able to post information for you guys on a regular basis because I'm having to wait days for someone to get back to me. I just haven't had the best experience in the past with dealing with someone with my YouTube channel, and I don't want to keep waiting. I don't like the idea of putting somebody else's my success in somebody else's hands. Now, if I had a team, that'd be different, where I know there's more than one person responsible for helping me. Hint, 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 if you're watching this and you got a team or you can get a team together, hey, I'm all ears. But I say all that to say, part of my purpose is, as you can see, I have the gift of gab, and I have the ability to convince people and persuade them the right way, not using it for my own ill will or gain or manipulating. I'm talking about purely motivating, inspiring individuals to take a really sober look at their lives and see where they can improve, whether it be by faith, which that's what we talk about in our channel, whether it be by business or starting a business, which that's what we talk about with my channel, or whether it be in finances, and that's what we talk about with my channel. So I hope this blessed you. I know these videos have been a little bit longer, but it's on purpose. I've definitely got to get my watch time up for my viewers, and the little 1 minute, 2 minute, 3 minute videos are just not doing it per someone who is helping me a little bit with getting things until I can get my team. But until then, thank you so much for watching. Remember to like and subscribe, and have a wonderful, wonderful Wednesday.